afternoon, everyone. And thanks so much for staying with us so long. And thanks for letting me finish up the day by introducing myself and starting off this year as your ODA president. My name is Dr. Calie Roa, and I'm honored to be representing you this year as the 129th president of this association. And again, a huge thank you to Dr. Hester for championing us through an extremely difficult year and being such a strong leader for us all. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in a small farm town in South Africa near the Indian Ocean, and at 18 came to Oregon as a Rotary Youth Exchange student. After my year, I decided to return to Oregon for college, and that's where I met my husband, Anthony. I completed my undergrad at Southern Oregon University in Ashland and my dental training at OHSU in Portland. In addition to my day-to-day dental practice, I would say my greatest joy is being a proud mom of 2 boys who keep Anthony and me very busy, constantly picking up soccer balls, Nerf bullets, and dirty socks. My involvement with the Oregon Dental Association began as early as my dental career itself, whereas shortly after graduating, I served on the ODA New Dentist Council. I worked my way through the ranks and continued on to the Board of Trustees. I began my dental career at an FQHC down in Medford, and after almost 4 years, I moved on from that and became a partner in a group practice for 7 years. During the pandemic, I made the crazy decision to move my practice from the partnership and go out on my own as a solo practitioner. I'm sure you've heard everyone say over and over that we're living in challenging times, and it's true, we are. And it continues to be remarkably challenging. It feels like perpetual motion navigating the current climate of our country and our state. This ride has me excited, nervous, anxious, challenged, and of course, very busy. I've seen some amazing things, and I'm sure you have too. The willingness of people to come together at the ready to donate supplies, help where needed, trudge through unsettling months of practices closing, then reopening to a sudden onslaught of incredibly hectic schedules. And now we're dealing with a confusion of mandates that we may or may not agree with, and we have to try and navigate through it all to keep ourselves afloat. To say that we are in a time of experiencing human resilience is extremely accurate. Our parents and grandparents have told us of war, hard times, and their sacrifices growing up. We're too living through tough times, and will become a tale to tell in future years, and the narrative of our story will be deeply affected by how we move forward now. We're not done, and it's time to rally with renewed vigor and to call upon our better selves. In her autobiography, Michelle Obama wrote something that truly resonated with me when I think about the ODA moving forward. This is what she wrote. For me, becoming isn't about arriving somewhere or achieving a certain aim. I see it instead as forward motion, a means of evolving, a way to reach continuously toward a better self. The journey doesn't end. At the ODA, a great deal of our focus right now is centered on this pandemic, working through vaccination issues, staffing issues, and patient care issues. As we do that, however, we also need to remember we live in a large and a diverse state with a kaleidoscope of people living in different circumstances. If we get centered on our own thoughts and beliefs, we may miss an irreplaceable gift of new insight and new understanding. We must listen to and hear each other. The purpose of being united through the ODA is to be open to courageous conversations and to all ways of thinking about our challenges. It's crucial that not one of our colleagues ever feels that they do not belong in this association. Every ODA member must have a voice at the table. We all know that a Klamath Falls small town dental practice is going to have a very different model to that of a downtown Portland practice. Both models, all models are part of us, the Oregon Dental Association. The ODA must be the body that connects the limbs, and all are just as important to make the body function well and efficiently. So with that in mind, I've thought very carefully about what my goal as president of this association is next year. And during times as demanding as these, it's important to focus our energy where it'll do the most good. While membership numbers will always be an important priority to any president, my primary goal will be promoting better engagement with our members. I believe we already have a faithful group of colleagues who don't realize how much we need them to communicate with us. Dr. Hester worked to help everyone understand the value of the ODA. I'll be carrying the torch forward, with my primary goal being to see that our communication goes both ways. We must have easily accessible ways for our colleagues to feed their valuable insight directly to us. What can we be doing to help you more? Two-way communication is more important than it has ever been in our history. The diversification of dentistry has been progressing rapidly. This is a positive trend. It means that our profession is now approaching a much more balanced representation of our population. We're seeing more graduates working for corporate dental practices or FQHCs. These are voices we need to hear, and their needs are just as important as the traditional model of private practice dentists. There are also inactive components of our membership in rural areas. Perhaps they're feeling neglected, perhaps because of their distance from the state hub, or their smaller populations may be the cause. But we have a roughly 50-50 split between rural and urban practices. The voices of our colleagues in rural areas must be heard as strongly as those in urban areas. As president, my goal is to visit as many components as possible. I would like to get direct and specific feedback of your concerns and trigger points. We know that recruiting new members is more difficult when components are not meeting in person, which has been very difficult through this pandemic. But we're hoping that we can safely change that in the near future. And right now, we need to address all factors that may be limiting involvement so we can kindle vigorous engagement in all areas. So, on that note, there's so many ways to get involved. You can suit your involvement to your capacity. Some committees meet frequently, some only a few times a year, but the rewards are tremendous. Seeing the background work that happens is truly amazing and gives you an appreciation for what this organization does for you. And thanks to Zoom, you don't even have to leave your home to do it. We need talent, and we need new talent, and we need it now. Our faithful, involved members are what have sustained us to this point. And with deep gratitude to them, new voices are the future of our association and our profession. The status quo cannot hold during tough times. Change must happen. And you, all of you, are the heartbeat of that change. Right now, more than ever, we need all innovative, creative, and concerned members to step forward and speak. Help us move forward and evolve as an association to work better for you. Thank you so much for your time. Be safe, be kind. Thank you.